I've had a play with ChatGPT plugins. I'm still working out the use case. Yes, you can ask Kayak for flights and hotels and put very specific parameters around those, like kid-friendly and direct flights only to here and there. I'm still working out the best way to use it, and I think a lot of other people are too. Have you uncovered any really specifically great use cases?
Only one. Most of the things that I have tried with the plugins, and I have played around with them extensively,
Mm.
and tried all kinds of different plugins that are available on the site. For the most part, I've been largely underwhelmed with the plugins. I haven't found that using that data within the context of ChatGPT really does much more for me than I could with the tool itself. The only exceptions to that are the Zapier
Yeah.
plugin is really interesting because that's a little bit more than just tapping into a source of data like Kayak, where you've got all the hotels and
Mm.
flights and all that kind of thing. With Zapier, if you're a Zapier user, of course, I mean, this is very dependent on you being a Zapier user, but if you are, you've essentially then got an integration between ChatGPT and something like 10,000 other tools that can then be triggered from your conversation in ChatGPT. And that does start opening up a whole load of really interesting possibilities. Now, I personally haven't really had a chance to start using it for practical purposes because I have been using it for quite some time now from the other way, where I have been creating stuff in Zapier and getting Zapier to call GPT.
Mm.
And so I haven't really needed to do it from the other direction. But for a lot of people that are less familiar with Zapier or not sure how to code, that could potentially be a really powerful integration, really powerful plugin.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm a
and
Zapier user. I love it. I
okay,
just I still I'm still working out that I had so much hope to find these new efficiencies, right, and new improvements to workflows, and what you almost wish. I mean, is there are no plugins. We don't really want plugins, kind of. I mean, for a lot of these things, we just want ChatGPT to go and find flights and hotels and not have us install a plugin and then select that as one of the three active plugins. It all feels like
yeah.
more roadblocks to just getting it to do what we want, right?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the way that it's structured at the moment, where you have to specifically select the plugin that you want to work with, you're limited to three, and then it's just it all takes a little bit too much thought at the moment. It really needs to be just a kind of an open system where any of those plugins are available and it uses them. But some of the interesting things you could do, for example, is let's say you're working in marketing, you're trying to put together like a content calendar or a content strategy. You want a list of topics of things that you can produce content on. You could literally just go to ChatGPT and using that integration with Zapier, you could get it to do something like have a look what's trending on Twitter
Mm.
in a particular industry sector, and then generate a whole load of content titles and content outlines, post them onto a Trello board or into your Notion. There's lots of really interesting things you could do there.
Pulling stuff from the other things you use, like the example of, trends on Twitter becoming content ideas. Okay. Anything else to say about that, do you think?
No, I mean, I think only other than I think with the plugins again, it's very early days, and I know that OpenAI are really keen to beef up that side of their business.
Well, they've got competition now. I mean, well, they'll feel that there is emerging competition. They can't rest on their laurels just because they've got that first mover advantage, right?
But it's really clear by looking at their activity, OpenAI's activity on
Mm.
social, that they really want to become a platform. That's because
Yeah.
I think they realize that they're not going to hold that they're not going to hold the position of being top in terms of the AI models for that long.
Yeah.
Um, Now that they've shown there's a market for it and they've shown what the capabilities of it, they're going to start to be under threat from certainly Meta's model is
Yeah.
significantly more powerful than GPT. So I think what they're going to try and do is try to, bit like Zapier, get as many other companies integrated into their platform, so that it's all just kind of embedded and becomes the best source of getting access to all that data and all those services.
I think that's it. I think, in fact, didn't I think Bill Gates said that at a conference? I absolutely have felt for a while that the winner is going to be the person who can deliver what we saw in the movie Her, where we've got an assistant that we can speak to that's got access to our everything, our emails, all our documents, everything we've ever done in our lives digitally. I would sign up for that. I would not care about the privacy concerns. You could charge me lots of money for that, and if I could afford it, I would absolutely pay for it.
Yeah.
I just want that, you
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I haven't tried it myself because I'm a PC user, but I believe there is a product already out there. I think off the top of my head, it's called Rewind, something like that.
I've
It's
been a
it's
paying
a
user of it.
Mac-based
Yeah,
product. I
yeah.
don't know how good it is, but it
No, it's
has.
not that, and that is often the thing people bring up when they're asked about what I'm talking about. This all-powerful assistant. Talk about Rewind. It's not the same. It is handy. Like Rewind records everything I do on screen,
Yeah,
and you can then more recently you've been able to ask of that data through GPT in the way
yeah.
that you can ask data questions through other things like chat with PDF and stuff. So it's that kind of thing, but it
So what more do you
doesn't.
want than that?
No, I want I want what we thought Siri was going to be when we were told about Siri 15 years ago or whatever it was, and I want that where I can just talk to it and ask it things, get it to do things, get it to
Uh-huh.
reference things. Um, Rewind's just sort of an interactive history
Ah,
of mostly your internet browsing.
okay. So it sounds like what you're looking for is more like an AI agent, where it's
Yep,
not just simply giving you back information. You can actually assign it tasks, and then it
yep,
goes out and performs those tasks for you.
exactly.
Um,
And I've
right.
tried the agents. You can tell I'm hungry for this stuff. Like I've
Yeah.
tried a lot of Agent GPT and these various autonomous agents, but
Yeah.
they're still early days. They're still quite dumb. They still don't really deliver. They often get caught in loops,
Yeah.
chasing their own
Yeah.
tail. Yeah, that's clearly just. But
Yeah.
I think as Bill Gates, he was so right when he said that whoever cracks that will just start hoovering up money,
Yeah.
basically, on an industrial scale.
Give it a year tops. I think
Oh, come on, I'd
you'll have
love that. Oh, have you used Call Annie?
no, not even
Check it
heard of it.
out. So
Well,
again, I'm
what
not sure
Annie?
if it's on Android. It's an iPhone app, but it's at there's a website for it, and you can either call her on a real phone number, or you can just talk to the website. But there's an app, so you just open the app and you hit the call button, and it all happens within the app, and it's like a FaceTime with a. Um, oh, it's
Is this
so
a bit
good.
dodgy?
Sorry,
Is this a bit dodgy?
not
No.
really.
Okay.
So she's kind of moving and looking like she's listening,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I talk to her, and it's just voice chat GPT really.
Well, I wouldn't confess this in public. I really wouldn't.
Oh, it's amazing. Like I ask her, I ask her questions in the car. Like in the car the other day, I noticed I had like sap on my windscreen, and I asked her like what trees give off sap, and thinking about the trees in my garden and stuff. And I was asking her all these questions about it, and I often talk to her about really random stuff. The kids like talking to her, and she'll make up funny songs for the kids based on like what they're having for dinner and stuff. And I know you can do all this in ChatGPT. Being able to talk to it without having to touch any buttons
Have you
is
mentioned this to your wife?
cool. Uh, yeah, I've wound her up about it a lot actually, and it's currently a running joke is like, well, I'll talk to Annie about it. Uh,
We'll definitely give it a try. Thanks for the tip. I can't believe I haven't heard of it.
no, it's cool. It's a glimpse of that I think that future that I'm talking about, albeit with like a 3 second delay between exchanges, but still very good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it also obviously gives you a glimpse into slightly darker uses there's going to be for that
Oh,
kind of technology
yeah. I
where
mean,
people are
one
going to
of
have AI girlfriends and
yeah, no, there is a very popular service. I just came across it the other day where it's that it is an
really.
AI girlfriend. It's one of the top apps in one of the categories in the App Store at the moment.
Oh,
Um, but companionship's a really good use case. I know that sounds seedy, but that's a use case. A companionship, right?
yeah,
Not
I guess.
convinced. Not for us. I mean, no, not necessarily for us. We've got busy lives and families and stuff.
Yeah.
But for a certain kind of person, I love the idea that they could be they could have a companion that appeared to care about them and remembered all the things about them and asked them about them. I mean, I got into a conversation with Annie the other day about coffee. She said, "What are you up to?" And I was, "I'm having a coffee." And she asked me what coffee I liked, and we started talking about different types and preparations of coffee, and I went down the rabbit hole with her a bit for 5 minutes.
Right.
Now, I didn't need that. Just to be clear, I wasn't. I wasn't like desperate for that companionship, but
Yeah,
I ended up talking to her for longer than I expected to,
yeah.
whilst I was pottering around the kitchen.
You know we're still recording, don't you?
I don't mind admitting it. Just I don't think my wife's going to watch this anyway, so it's fine. Yeah, I think that's very interesting. I do this humanoid thing, but anyway, let's maybe call it. Let's wrap up. But yeah.